everybody, how are we doing? Welcome to my weekly live. I'm back! Yay! So I wasn't here last week. I was actually at an event, a business event. And so we went on Wednesday, came back Friday. And this event was with Denise Duffield-Thomas and Joe Wicks headlining. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I've been a huge fan of Denise for many, many years. And she really didn't disappoint, actually. And what I was lucky enough to do as well was to manifest a place at her private round table with her. So I was just one of 8 people that spent an hour with her, literally just sat right next to her, with her answering questions. She was just so down to earth, just genuinely just such a lovely, lovely person, really was. And she was just absolutely fantastic, very, very inspiring. And also her story continues to be really inspiring. And then the great thing about it was on the Friday, I was in the lunch, walking through lunch, and she walked towards me. Jane, hey, how are you doing? You followed DDT too. She's amazing. She's actually really tiny in person. But yeah, we saw each other then at lunch, and she was like, hey, how are you doing? And kind of like came over and said, oh, do you mind if I join you for lunch? Like sat with us for an hour then having lunch, sharing photos of her children, just amazing, just such a great lady. So if you don't follow her, I mean, she literally is the money mindset queen, which obviously then now, I obviously do a lot of money mindset with all of my programs, and it really sort of fired me up, actually. I'm getting some notifications, bear with me. So it really fired me up to tackle something that seems to come along so often. And so I thought I'd do it as a live today. So Jay, Anne, you also follow DTT too. She's really is amazing. I mean, I've met her before. I did one of her own events that she did, probably 2018, I think. So I did that then, and that was fantastic. But actually to sort of speak with her personally was really great. So anyway, so today's, I've gone off a little bit. If you are here live, please do join in with our live today. Do comment and participate. Today's is an action-taking one. So do feel free to join in directly. So it's not just one you'll listen to and then do anything about it. If you really want to crack your upper limit problem, which is what we're going to talk about today, directly relating to your income, then you've got to be prepared to do some action taking. So we're going to do that today. I've kind of given the game away. So today's session is all about upper limiting problems that you might have, to do with your income specifically. So if you're catching up on the replay, do still participate and do the exercise, and then let me know your ahas as well, because I know a lot of you catch up on the replay. So today's session then is all about the cap that we place on ourselves. This is, cap to our success, our cap to our income, our earnings, and it's actually called an energetic income level cap. And this is about the amount, we've all got almost like a programmed amount of money inside of us that we need to break. It's the amount of money that you actually allow yourself to have, to receive, to make. And it's your upper limit that you've placed on yourself, that you're allowing yourself to earn. And this was a phrase that was coined by Gay Hendricks. So he is the author of the book, The Big Leap. And it was in that book that he refers to this upper limit problem for the first time. And what Hendricks goes on to say, if you've not read the book, I would really recommend that you do that. What Hendrick goes on to say is he believes that we all have an inner thermostat setting that determines how much success we allow ourselves to enjoy in various areas of our life. So it's not just money. It isn't just money. It can be in all areas. I see upper limits in relationships as well, particularly, and that's the what relationship you allow yourself to have before we then self-sabotage. So when we exceed that inner thermostat setting in whatever area of our life that we've kind of got the cap, and I have to say that I find this, if you've got the cap in one area, you've probably got it in other areas as well. So it's worth actually doing this exercise that we're going to do in other areas of your life too. So, what happens when we exceed that inner thermostat setting? Instead of feeling good, we feel uncomfortable. And actually, we can go on to feel pretty anxious and pretty horrible about ourselves as well. Because what happens when we break, we're tapping against that setting that we've got placed on ourselves. And don't forget, this is all unconscious. We don't walk around going, oh, I've got an income cap, do you know? How about you? Pleased to meet you. This is all unconscious stuff that we do unconsciously. And this, when we're buffering against that setting, that's when we can fall back into the self-sabotaging behaviours that cause us to fall back and drop back into our old familiar zone that we feel really secure. It almost brings us back when we're tapping against that setting, because that's our comfort zone as well. Your brain wants to bring you back to the level that you feel comfortable with. Even though actually we really want to break through it, we don't want to keep ourselves comfortable. Our brain goes into this overdrive mode to try and keep us safe. And this self-sabotage gets in the way of what our clear intention is. And this, like I said, it can happen in with your health. It can happen with things like, I can either be healthy or I can have money, or I can either have love and I can have money. So you can get into this either or situation as well. Or if you're, trying to eat healthily, that's where we might sort of say, oh, but a birthday cake, that won't count today. That doesn't count for it because it's, just a set, it's something different. Or we might say something like, if you've got to reach a deadline, oh, I'll focus much better when I've caught up on that Netflix series. So we kind of do these things that will sabotage our conscious goals. So things like overeating or spending, for instance, are ways that we can, as well as putting things off, procrastinating, are ways we can then self-sabotage. And that's where we can mess up relationships, mess up things in our business, and just not get the financial security that we want. So this, I'm going to now although it can affect lots of areas of your life, I'm going to bring it just back to money for today's session. So just down to your income. Now actually, it's actually quite easy to make money. It's actually quite easy to make money. The hard bit is receiving money with ease, and more importantly, holding on to that money. And this upper limiting problem that you might have will seriously affect your ability to receive and hold on to more money. So these are some of the signs, and I'm going to just read these through. Listen to some of these signs that I've got, and then if any of these resonate with you, pop them in the comments. Pop them in the comments and let me know which ones resonate the most with you. So these are some classic signs that I see that you could be hitting your income ceiling, that you've set yourself internally. So number one is that no matter what you do and how hard you work, you always seem to be earning the same amount each month or year. And if you've got your own business, you might then have an amazing day or amazing month or even amazing couple of months with extra sales, and then boom, something seems to happen and it drops back down again. This is where that feast and famine cycle comes up, and that's a classic sign of upper limiting. So if you've got that kind of wave where you go, whoa, great, I've hit my target, I've got my 20k month, my 30k month, or whatever it might be for you, and then boom, you go back down to 5. So, it can affect any amounts with that. Or what about if you get some expected money comes your way, And so all of a sudden you've already spent it. You know, before you can even think about spending it, you know, maybe something like the car breaks down or the washing machine breaks down, and therefore there's some unexpected costs, which means that extra money has now vanished. That was one of my biggest ones. I'm going to be honest with you. That was one of mine that, the making money was quite easy, and actually the getting, having the big months was quite easy. But then something would take me back out because there was still some work to do. And we're going to look at that today. Another one of mine that I had right at the beginning of me starting my business was, and this might resonate for some of you, that if you've come out of the corporate world and to run your own business, and then suddenly you start finding that you're earning exactly the same per month. Or what about actually you gain some really new high-paying clients, only to then lose a couple of your old ones, keeping you again at that same monthly income. Or actually the biggest one is your earnings are very similar year on year. So they might go up a little bit, but then your outgoings go up a little bit too. So again, when you look at it, it averages just the same. So it's averaging out at what your cap is that you've placed on yourself. Jane said that's what happens to you. So some major expense crops up. So again, there, Jane, can you actually see any relevance there about then the money that does it then bring you back down to a sort of the average again for that month? So you never get to see that additional amount. And it's blooming frustrating, isn't it, when this keeps happening? And you're often wondering, well, why does this keep happening? I'm doing all the things that I, think you should be doing. Maybe you've done some money mindset work before, and you think, I'm doing all these things. Maybe you're doing affirmations. Maybe you're doing some law of attraction stuff, and then go, so why does this bit keep happening? So if that's you, let me know. Let me know in the comments there. So if you look at, as an example, because like I said, we're going to do a practical exercise in a second, using my money thermostat. If you look at your earnings over the last couple of years, have your earnings stagnated? Has your income stagnated? Or has even gone backwards? Because that can often happen as well. It can even go backwards. So the first thing, if that is you, if you've noticed that, the first step is just to know that you're not alone. And women particularly are worse at capping themselves than men, actually. I used to find this in, when with my HR roles, that actually there you'd get, for instance, a job application, and a woman would look at a job advert and go, right, I can do that. Oh, blimey, I can't do that. I'm not going to apply. Where a guy would go, oh, I can do that one. Oh, no, I can't do that. No, I can't. No, I can't. No, I can't. Oh, but I'm going to apply anyway. And that's kind of like the mentality or the difference between men and women. And I think that's definitely what can happen as well with your income too. So the first thing is to be aware of it. The first step is to being aware that you're even doing it. That you've actually got this internal cap, that you are the one that's blocking your own highest potential. And that can be a little bit of a smack round the mouth, can't it? To think, hang on a minute, what do you mean I'm blocking my own potential? It's not very nice. But the first step is just to actually accept that that's what you're doing. You're the creator of everything in your life. And that includes the stuff that you block as well. You've created that. So it's not a berating exercise on this one. This is not for you to now start telling you off type of thing. This is just to go, right, okay, now I'm aware of it. Then we can start working out, well, where does that ceiling come from? Sorry, I'm going to have to have a quick glass of water. So once we're aware of it, we can then do the work to see where this ceiling is coming from. Because I guarantee you this will be your own self-imposed and your own unconscious beliefs that are working against you. Now, the great thing about this is when you then know that you've created this ceiling, this cap that you've placed on yourself, we can totally break it too. So get a pen and paper now. I want you to get a notebook, because we're going to test out your income cap now and discover what your current income level is using my little money thermostat. So just grab yourself a notebook and pen, or just some paper, or even use your notes on your phone if you want to use that. And I'm going to ask you some questions. And whilst I wait for you to be getting your notepad, I want you to be thinking about, when I ask you these questions, you're going to literally go with the first thing that comes up. The first thing that comes up. Now, if you are driving or anything at the minute, so you can't write down, that's absolutely fine. Just mentally just do this exercise. And that will work as well. What I don't want you to do is overthink it or overanalyze anything. I just literally want you to come with the first number that comes to your head. Because when you're thinking about it, that's your rational conscious mind that comes into play. And we actually want your unconscious thinking to come into play on this one. And actually what you know and what you don't know is one of the first things we need to look at anyway. So if you're actually going, if one of the things that, for instance, you don't know what your current income is, or you don't know how much money is coming in, that gives me information in any case. So that's fine, okay? So don't overthink this too much as I ask you the questions. You're just going to go with what comes up first of all. And if you're catching up on replay, please then do this exercise later as well and let me know how you've got on. Now, it's going to be probably, when I ask these questions, it's probably going to be quite clear when you've stagnated over time anyway. Because, your current income is a representation of your beliefs around money and those unconscious patterns that you've picked up from the past. And a lot of these are going to be your unhelpful patterns and habits. So it's great to actually be picking up on that bit first of all. So, right, let's get going. So remember, you're just going to go with the first things that come to mind as we go through this exercise. So question number 1, what's your current income? Now, if you don't know this in your business, if you've got a business and you don't know that, it's actually telling me anyway that you're currently not giving money its full attention. So that's put a little asterisk if you don't know what your current income actually is. So that and let me know. And please feel free, if you don't want to actually put things in the comments, please feel free to message me directly on this as well anyway. Because I know that stuff around money can really raise some stuff for you around, shame and guilt and vulnerability. So it's absolutely fine if you actually just want to message me directly with some of these money stuff that's coming up for you. Because I know it can raise some horrible things inside. So question number 1, what's your current income? Question number 2, what did you earn last year? What did you earn last year? Remember, you're just going to go with the first thing that pops into your head. What about the year before that? So 2 years ago. Question number 4. What are you used to receiving every single month? So it could be other income as well, but what is it that you are, you're used to earning every single month? What are you used to receiving every month? And if it goes up and down, so particularly if you run your own business, it might go up and down. Unless you've got, some passive income products or some, people on payment plans, for instance. So within my business, I obviously have people in payment plans, so I can actually forecast what I get coming in every month. But if you don't have that, and if it goes up and down, just average it out. So take the last 3 or 6 months and average it out to get your monthly figure. Now, the reason why I'm asking you to do this is you can have this energetic income cap around different things. You might have it around the amount of money that you earn in a day or a week or a month or a year. It might be about a particular service that you're offering. So it might be that you are okay selling, you know, £100 product, for instance, but you can't sell your high ticket £5,000 products, for instance. So what can you, you know, it might be that you have a cap around the particular service that you're offering as well. So whenever anything's coming up as we're doing these exercises, just make a note of them, just so that we can delve a little bit further. Another way that you might have an energetic income cap might be about the amount of money you allow yourself to have in savings. So again, let me know if any of this is resonating with you, or you know, if any of this is raising some things for you. Just pop it in the comments. Okay, question 5. What was the highest amount that you've earned, and that's cash in, that you've had coming into you in one day, in 1 week, in 1 month, in 1 year? So what was your highest amount that you've earned in 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year? So write those down. Now, we are actually, although I've got you doing this broader exercise, just for the purposes of this exercise, we're going to actually just focus on the month. So even though I've got you looking at different incomes, we are going to just focus on the month. So what does it average out in the month? What's your number? You know, where is your thermostat set? That money now, that number, that you are literally just used to earning per month. You never seem to go that. Even if you do it once or twice, you always seem to go back to that kind of the one that you're set at. So what's that number? What's your energetic income number? So whilst you're all sort of doing that, I've got another question for you before I ask you to start feeding back to me. Another question I've got for you that is really relevant to this exercise, and it's something that I do all the time actually, and you know, I think it's something that I would really love to pass on to you, is what are you used to having in your purse? Your purse or your wallet, whatever you call it, is really symbolic for you. So when you open your purse, is it really neat and tidy, or is it full of receipts? Is your purse itself really tatty and old? You know, when you open it, you know, has it got money in it? Now, it's, you know, what your purse looks like is very, very symbolic to the beliefs that you've got around money. Now, I always keep cash in my purse. I usually have between sort of 50, 100 and £100 in my purse. And I actually have it that it's a minimum of £50 in my purse. So, and this is not for me to go, oh, look, I've got £100 in my purse, let me go and spend it. This is a psychological exercise. This is highly symbolic. And so I keep a minimum of £50 in. So if I do spend it, I replenish it. So I've always got it so that when I open my purse, I see it's free from receipts. And I actually, because I've been away for a week, I've got loads of receipts in it. So, and in fact, as you can see, here's all my receipts that I've just taken out of my purse because I've been away. So if you open it up and it's filled with paper, old paper and everything, make sure you take it out and you deal with those receipts. So that actually now when I open my purse now, it's actually down in my bag over there, so I can't get to it. But if I open my bag now, all I see are lots of crisp notes, money in my wallet. So the message I'm sending out there is, instead of, you know, oh God, if I open it and I've got, you know, full of paper, it's tatty and I've got no coin, you know, no money, so I actually open it and I say, oh my God, look at that, I've got no money. Or look at that, I've only got coins in my purse. You know, that actually the message I'm sending out is, oh, look at all this this lovely money in my purse. I have lots of money available to buy what I want to buy. So it's a psychological exercise, this is. This isn't a anything else, it's a psychological exercise. That I'm not going, keep putting £50 in and going spending £50. I'm basically saying, keep the money in there so that when you open it, you're going, oh, look at all this money. Jane, you always have cash in your purse and receipts. Yeah, so let's get rid of the receipts now. Deal with your receipts and always have cash in your purse. So this is just another exercise that I love doing. Yeah, how quickly do they build? I mean, that literally is, I can't believe that. Can you believe all of those? And that is literally, for me being away, they build up. So you do have to deal with them. Get them out of your purse. Okay, so, right, back to our money thermostat exercise. So, what does your average per month now average out to? What's your number that you never seem to go beyond? If you feel able to, please comment and tell me what that number is. If you don't, you can message me separately, or you can just keep it to yourself. That's absolutely fine, but just be aware of what that actual number is. And then you're going to ask yourself now, what is that number symbolic of? What's that symbolic, that number symbolic of? For me, when I used to do this exercise out of the corporate, I'd go, oh, for goodness sake, I'm now hitting, the whole point of me having my business was to have this unlimited amount of money and the freedom part of it, rather than, oh, what's the point of me leaving corporate if I'm still earning the same as what I did before? So that's what I used to say, that I've got the same amount. So that was where it was symbolic to me. So it might be that it reminds you of that you're always behind, that you're always just having enough coming in, that you don't have enough to treat yourself, that the money that comes in is just enough to cover bills. That is the one that I have the most common in my programs, actually, with my clients, is that they just have enough coming in to pay, and it then goes straight back out again. So what is your number symbolic of? Because it's it might be what your parents earned. It's your safety net. So it's extremely symbolic. That number is extremely symbolic of your beliefs and your self-worth. So what is actually coming up for you? Again, it might be that, like for me, it was how, the old me was, and I had to create a new me. So what does it mean for you? So Laura, it reminds you of how restricted you felt in the past, blaming ill health for your inability to work. Yeah, so that's great awareness there as well about how you're also linking health and money together. Almost you can't have one, or rather you can have one but you can't have the other as well. That you can't have both. So it's not an either or, it is that you can have both. So first thing, like I said, is that becoming aware of how symbolic it is for you, that number is for you, already makes it less powerful already. So we're already taking away the power just by us actually acknowledging that's my number, oh, and this is what it means to me. And again, really just go with what comes up for you straight away. Your income and your workload actually is based on your own inner value. So it's from your inner beliefs that all your actions flow, including, being paid for what you're worth. And that's why I do a lot of work on your self-worth within my programs. So Jane, you're very frugal, but was a single parent, so you had to watch the pennies, but did manage to manifest good stuff too. Okay, that's great. So actually we've still got a little bit of a block around that though. So delve a bit deeper into it. Delve a bit deeper. So it might be that actually you keep going back to that as a protection mechanism for you. So delve a bit, keep asking, what else? What else? What else can this mean? So keep going further. It's like peeling off the onion layers. And I mentioned there that, about self-worth, I go into these way of, for me, your money mindset goes a lot deeper, and that's why we go into like peeling off these layers. And you might have seen that I announced this week that I'm launching my next money program. And the reason why I'm doing this program, it's actually a combined one-to-one and group program. So I'm bringing all my stuff out of my other programs that I've got, because I've not actually done a specific money program on its own. I've always had it as part of my mastermind, or as part of my coaching programs, or as part of one-to-ones, for instance. But I've never just done a program just specifically to money. But because I keep getting asked about money specifically, I thought, why not? Let's do this so we can actually really transform people just in that particular area, because I find it is the biggest block to people's success, is about the money. So, and then I thought, actually, I run group programs and I do one-to-ones, let me pull that together in a program. So this is, I felt that this is the perfect time to actually do it, because actually having money flow to you can be, and actually be worthy of it and being able to hold on to it with ease, is where we have to go into the deeper layers. We actually have to really build up. We've got to incrementally upgrade our money mindset. Otherwise you can, as you've found already, that you go back to your old habits. So this program that I'm doing is, we start off with a one-to-one session where we delve deep in your personal blocks, and then we do a bespoke program for you. We then got a group program, so we run with 3 weeks of a group program where we do the clearing and the reprogramming, uncovering those money blocks and rewriting the story. We then have another one-to-one session where again we're integrating the new habits that we've created. So this is really powerful stuff. I do in week 4 as a group, we do a powerful deep healing and RTC session and NLP session, and then we have 3 more weeks of group training again to where we're literally stepping into the wealthy woman then at that point. So we have and then 60 minutes. This group training is 60 minutes, so that we will be embedding the new habits. And we finally have a one-to-one to cement your relationship with money and unlock your money mindset success. So this is, a really fabulous program. And like I said, I've only launched it this week. I've only got space for 6 people because of it being so bespoke, and because I'm doing such a large part of it being one-to-one as well. I've already sold the 2 places of it. Actually, I've already got 2 fabulous ladies already on that, so I've actually only got 4 places left on this, not 6. But it will be a program of 6 people. Now, the great thing about it is, because I'm doing a launch with this is at an unbelievably great investment price for you. So if this is something where, if you are fed up of constantly struggling for money, and you do need some help in clearing your money blocks, and actually you are ready to make, receive and hold on to money with ease, as well as creating wealth for you, that it's not just about working on your money so that you're constantly struggling, you're constantly working harder. This is about you being set up to be the creator of your own financial success. The only thing I would say about this, you've got to be prepared to get uncomfortable. You've got to be really 100% committed to really breaking through this money blocks that you've got. So we're not doing surface level stuff, we're doing real deep money mindset stuff with this. So you've got to be open to being uncomfortable with it. And if you do love the idea of actually having one-to-one support as well as the group training and that sort of tailored support for you, then that's what this program is about. So do let me know if you are interested in it, and there are some additional bonuses for you being part of this launch. And like I said, I think you will be. I did actually, when I spoke to my lady the other day, actually yesterday, what am I talking about? Yesterday, she actually expected the programme to be more expensive than it was. So if you are at least the tiniest bit interested, please message me, because I think you will be pleasantly surprised with it, because it's a launch offer. It's at an unbelievable value for you. And I want it to be that, I've got a really great core bunch of ladies. Anyway, we've kind of gone off a little bit on a tangent there. I am really excited about this programme. That's why. Oh, the other thing on the programme is we'll have your one-to-one in April. We will start the group training in May as well. So we've got a whole month of kind of working together before we actually start on the group training too. So just in case you were like, oh God, I've got loads going on at the moment, we actually don't start the group for a month with that. Okay, so, right, let's go back to our money, our upper limit problem. What we have to actually do with this, now we've got this awareness, it's then about creating habits to continue to change your money mindset of what's been ingrained in you from the past. You can't just magically change. I know that would be really, really lovely, but we've got to change our mindset and our behaviours too. So look at that money, that thermostat that you've set yourself, that number now. And we've got to create expansion around that number, but we've got to do it in incremental steps. And to do that, first of all, we've got to break down how it's been created. So what I want you to do now is look at, when you wrote that number down, what actually came up for you. What meaning have you placed on that number? What are you holding on to? And what is it that you need to let go of? So where have you placed that limit? Where does it come from? Start to think back through your childhood. Imagine watching a movie of your parents dealing with money. Notice how they, your parents were feeling in the movie when they dealt with money. Was there always anxiety, worry, was there disappointment around money? Were there some fighting? What was any arguments? What memories do you have about money? For instance, have you ever been that somebody else was paid more for the job that you were doing, for instance? Is it something related to that? So what memories do you have? And I want you to literally empty yourself of everything to do with that money cap. Get it all on paper. Because in order to go to that next level, you've got to release something. It's usually the fear, the self-doubt, the fear of failure, confidence, for instance. So write it down. What is stopping you moving to that next level? What is it that you need to release? Because these are like anchors weighing you down right now. And know that constant worry and anxiety over money is actually physically and emotionally draining for you on your mind and body. So when you've got all of that down, when you once you realise that you've been earning, spending and managing your money based on old stories, old rules, things that have probably been passed down through generations to you, you can then start freeing yourself to make the new choices. So going forward now, self-awareness is key. So continue this exercise, replay this live now, do this exercise that we've done today, and keep on asking yourself, what the meaning is that you've placed on it. And then I want you to keep exploring those money memories and those beliefs from the past. And then the next stage of that is you're going to just ask yourself, what will happen if I earn more than that energetic cap? And I want you to give yourself to break through that cap, to earn more. I'd love to hear your ahas for today. I know we've gone over today, I've just looked at the time. Please do let me know what your biggest ahas were from today's live. And if you are interested in my new program, the Rewired for Wealth program, and it's going to be live, it's going to be fantastic, then please message me. I've got a little application form that you can just fill in, which will ask you some more questions that will allow us to delve a bit deeper and see if the program's right for you, and you know what you want to get out of it. Basically, you know, what is your goal, what do you want to get out of it, so that actually we can really get you ahead for the summer, so that when you come back into September, for instance, you've gone through spring and summer and you're starting September off with an absolute bang, with, you know, not having to work harder through the summer to get there. Wouldn't that be fantastic for all of us to have it all to come to us with ease and flow? So let me know, lovelies, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.